Hello, this is Giselle Yanel. I'm so glad to have you here in this channel. Thank you for subscribing and being part of the community of making your love relationship be a soul-based love relationship. Okay, I want to ask you, what have you got from the 7 most ignored and unrevised love challenges? So I shared 7. They're here on the YouTube channel. You can actually check them up. It's part of the archive. And before I get to share what the opportunities are, I really feel that it's important that I share this piece of information because the intention behind this piece of information is so that I invite you to really to take upon yourself at a deeper level, to ponder upon things, how you are operating in your love relationship and also in your personal life. It's very important. And even in your spiritual path. Okay, so here we go. Before further ado, and this particular piece has to do with ignorance. And probably you have heard something along the lines that says that ignorance is bliss. In Japanese, it's called Shiranu wa Hotoke. That means, the literal translation means that not knowing is Buddha, or Buddha being bliss. Okay, but can we really say that? Let's explore. And it says, ignorance is bliss. Really? On the path of personal and spiritual mastery, one cannot afford to affirm that ignorance is bliss. It may be for a momentary lapse of time. Very short. Right? However, in the mid or long term, it may not necessarily work to your advantage. How come? Considering the purpose of your incarnation and how you can use your love relationships as a platform for personal and spiritual development, the time will eventually come to you to chisel out any rough edges you may still have in your structure. I'm going to make a pause here. So when I say structure, what I mean is your whole structure as an incarnated being, a soulful human in this physical plane. And that structure comprises also your soul, your ego structure, your consciousness, okay? And the other bodies that are also part of you, your physical body, etheric body, mental body, emotional body, energy body. That's your structure. Okay. You also have an internal compass built into you, your soul. Your intuition gives you signals now and then so you can focus on what is not aligned with your soul path. This only happens to soulful humans, not to those deprived of souls. Okay, another pause here. Your soul is basically part of you. You are part of your soul. You are a unit, okay? So your soul, it's part of you. It's part of your structure. And one of the means that your soul has to communicate with you is intuition. Okay, let's continue. As much as I love my Japanese culture, I do not entirely agree with Shiranu wa Hotoke. I mentioned it before. Shiranu wa Hotoke is not knowing is Buddha, which is the same meaning as ignorance is bliss, or what you don't know can hurt you. Well, to some extent, this may be true, but when it comes to understanding all your hidden layers so you can revise and choose what to let go of, not knowing then won't serve you. Remaining in the dark alleys of ignorance can only guarantee that you feel bad, create pain and suffer. You get to choose. It will also it will make it really hard actually to get out of that space just by not knowing. Because remember, in order for you to make a change, you have to be aware. Without awareness, how can you pinpoint what is it that needs to be changed, improved? Right? Let's continue. Not knowing the truth about something may serve you while preparing yourself to face it with good, solid skills and tools. So maybe that Shirano wa Hotoke, the ignorance is bliss, that can work only if you are preparing yourself. Okay, so it doesn't mean that you get stuck in it. Okay, let's continue. Okay. Know that all you come to experience in this life, you are geared to. You are not deprived of internal resources. If you must equip yourself with solid skills and tools, there is always a way to do it. Ignoring your reality is like serving yourself on a silver plate, not just to your own ego, but also to others' egos, setting yourself up for a limited life where Kaizen and Ikigai will simply dismiss you. Actually, I'm going to make a pause here because something that I really love about my Japanese culture is these deep rooted principles that are practiced not just by few, but actually by the majority of people. One of them is Kaizen, which is to do things with continuous improvement, and Ikigai, which is your reason for living. You will get to read that part of the book. It's part of this is the first section of the book that I purposely put there because the invitation is for you to really take on board what is the reason why you are on this physical plane, kicking in, living. Okay, you're not just here to fill up space. There is a reason. There is a very good reason and purpose for you to be here. And continuous improvement in your life, in your love relationships is also very important. That is called Kaizen in Japanese. Okay, so then you can fulfill your Ikigai, the reason for living. Okay, I'm gonna read this section just again. Ignoring your reality is like serving yourself on a silver plate, not just to your own ego, but also to others' egos. Setting yourself up for a limited life where Kaizen and Ikigai will simply dismiss you. Okay, let's expand on this because the last love challenge, unrevised and most ignored challenge, the number 7 that I actually share, okay, in this section on the previous video, if you go in order, it's all about mediocrity. Okay, so living a mediocre life, a halfway, a so-so life, when in reality you have come built in, you have everything inside of you to live a very fulfilling life. And this is about Kaizen Ikigai. Okay, so when you ignore what is it that is not working in your life, how can you make changes? And how can you improve anything that has to be improved in your life if you don't really pay attention? So then by being in that space, literally, it's like you are serving yourself on a silver plate for your own ego structure that actually you will get to learn about that later in the book. This is actually the ego structure, soul structure. It's part of part 2 from the book. Okay. It's very important that you understand it because then otherwise that ego structure of yours can actually just play tricks on you and you may not even notice it. That's what really sucks about it. And I want you to be well prepared. I want to train you well so then you can free yourself from that. But it's not just about just getting rid of it. You have to master it. This is about personal and spiritual mastery. Got it? And you may ask yourself, okay, so then if you're talking about love relationships, what does this personal mastery, spiritual mastery has to do with it? It has to do a lot. Okay. In the previous videos, we already have established how love relationships are actually a foundation. And you can use your love relationship as a vehicle. That's why the book is called Soul-Based Love Relationships. So then your relationship, your soul, your love relationship can be a vehicle for you to expand more on your personal and spiritual mastery. Think about it. Okay. And please leave your comments below because I really love to read you. It's very important that you get to express it so then you can take the next step. Don't hold it back inside of you. Share it. Okay. Okay. And also says this particular part says, okay, so you serve yourself on a silver plate, and also you serve yourself on a silver plate to your own ego, but also to your partner's ego. Because in love relationships, you also need to understand that egos actually they play together. Okay, you gotta be aware of that. Okay, that's about this section. It's an invitation for reflection. So can we say really that as humanity and as a global society, have we advanced ourselves? There is another section of the book that I really love, and it has to do with history, our human history. And it has to do with one of my favorite Spanish painters, and to me, he's a hero. His name is Francisco de Goya. And he has he created this collection of aqua paints where he portrayed all sorts of events in life from all different stratas of society back then in the 1700s. And when I went to Madrid, specifically to go to the museum and really get to see his artwork firsthand, I was so shocked. It brought me down to tears. And I felt it was really, really shaking internally. And it was quite painful to realize that the activities of corruption, of all levels of corruption that you can imagine, were just depicted on this aqua paint. It's a collection of aqua paints. He calls it caprichos, which translates to whims. And this particular art exposition is actually called The Awakening of Consciousness. That's why I went to see it. And I can tell you that it was really, really hard to realize and actually to digest that the things that he was portraying on these aqua tints still happening. I'm talking to you about 1700 aqua tints. And we are now, as today is December 6th, 2024. So we can say it's almost 400 years. And to me, Goya, he was a revolutionary of his time. And he was actually vouching for the awakening of consciousness of people back then. So then that actually really got me thinking. And not just thinking, but actually I said, okay, I must communicate this. So then I made it a point to include that part of information in the book because I really want you to know about it. So then going back to Ignorance is Bliss, it will only be purposeful to be in that space of ignorance when you are preparing yourself to take the next step. However, I do not recommend you at all that you get stuck on ignorance because it is a very detrimental space to be in. Okay, because in that space of ignorance, the only thing that you can create is pain and suffering. You don't need that. You are a soulful human being who have come to this physical plane of reality to expand yourself, okay? To express all that is, your talents, your beauty, your power, your capacities. It's all in you. It's not outside of you. So then that's why I say that love relationships can be the perfect vessel because you navigate through the waters of life, right? So, okay, I better stop here. Otherwise, this video can just be very long. There's so much I want to tell you and I want to share with you with good purpose. Okay, so having said that, please make sure that you are subscribed to the channel because this video is part of a challenge that I gave myself to upload 100 videos before the publishing date for the book, 25th March 2025 in Singapore. So if you don't subscribe and you don't press that button, that bell, you won't be notified. So then I really love for you to get hold of this information. So please help me by helping yourself by subscribing and also liking the video and sharing the video because there are people who will appreciate this information. So the more the merrier, right? So thank you so much and I'll see you on the next video. Ciao, ciao.